always looking for ideas and opportunities to better not just myself but my fellow young people and also the communities that we belong to. Therefore, let me quote from Charles Hoskinson, who said that if you don't like the way the world operates, you don't complain, but you do something. We have issues that are confronting us in our daily lives, in our businesses, and even in our societal belonging, our relationships, our challenges. We want to make our lives improve, and that is why we are here. So I just want to walk us through a bit. I know most of you are developers. If you are not a developer, that's not the problem. But the aim of this is to engage and empower you as well as onboard you to Cardano ecosystem, so that as young builders, as people who aspire to be able to develop some few applications, real world applications, and deploy it on the blockchain, you will have some hands-on understanding. But you cannot really do this unless you get the basics or the fundamentals, and that is why you need this foundational knowledge. Somewhere in 2009, we all saw what happened. A revolution happened where Satoshi Nakamoto and individual or group launch or publish the white paper, Bitcoin white paper, highlighting the need for a peer-to-peer digital cash system for the world. He was looking for one currency for the earth, because the earth is what we belong to. One globe, one currency, or one money, so that we be able to relate very well. Individuals can transact money easily. Because let's look at how, even in the information era, the period where we used to pass on information, it was a challenge. You will have to send letters through fax mails and other, even maybe vehicles or flights, just to pass on information. But today it's no longer the case. With just in seconds, 0 minutes, you are able to put on a mail, you are able to share the mails, and you communicate with your peers across the world. But Bitcoin and blockchain is here to revolutionize how we not just sending information, but how we can also push value to each other. How we can also push value. If I'm sending you an ebook in a PDF form, I might send you the entire copy. If I send you the copy, once I have access to it, I'm able to have access, right? It's just a copy that I've shared with you. And now how do we move value? Because moving value to is challenging. Imagine you want to transfer a vehicle to a friend in just Nigeria. Imagine you want to transfer 200 CDs to a friend in Nigeria. You can imagine the stress you go through, the middlemen you have to pass through, the fees that you have to pay, the inconveniences, the time that it will take you to be able to do that, and the risk that is going to be involved in just completing this simple transaction. And these are issues that characterize our financial systems or our financial technologies, called it fintech. That is why blockchain is here to change or make improvements into how we make payments, into how we can simply transfer value. And simply transferring value, let's say a car to a friend in Nigeria, is basically used for tokenomics, changing or converting real world assets into tokens, and then you can sell it. That's where we have the metaverse. And so when Satoshi Nakamoto did this, he was doing this with an intention of creating change. Let's look back to 20th century. 20th century wanted us to have internet, wanted us to have a lot of things that we have today, and they didn't solve. Now it's real, it's practicalized. We have AI, we have internet, not just internet, but even AI and some other internet applications. Now for 2015 around then, when the mother coin or mother blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain, smart contract development began with the Ethereum ecosystem. And you will be able to develop simple contracts that are self-execute, contract that doesn't involve middlemen or guru boys, people that will be in the middle and take agency fee, like agency fees, or take commissions on simple contracts, but you are able to build or create contracts that can self-execute itself. We'll talk about that very soon. Now for Cardano's case, it began in 2017 by Charles Hoskinson, who also started Ethereum with Vitalik. So as a co-founder of Cardano, he also came together with research. It was a research-driven, peer-review research-driven strategy that Charles used in order to be able to create Cardano. And of course, creating Cardano means that Cardano wanted to be better than Ethereum and even Bitcoin. Although you can say they took inspiration from that, Cardano took inspiration from Bitcoin and Ethereum, but of course, that's how innovations are. Innovation is basically doing things differently or doing things in a better way. Because as Bitcoin began, or as Bitcoin blockchain was launched, we begin to have experienced a lot of challenges in terms of fees, in terms of energy, in terms of participation levels, in terms of governance. But what Charles wants to do is basically to ensure that Cardano is able to enhance scalability. Cardano is able to move beyond several products, beyond solutions, so that we can have Cardano at every corner in not just the crypto industry, but even at every sector of our global economy. Cardano wants to ensure interoperability, where you have different chains working together, different blockchains operating in real time. So for instance, when we say blockchain, basically some blockchains could be public, some could be private, and some could be both private and public. So the public ones are just those that anyone at all can work on it and build or deploy products on them. But private are mainly restricted. You will not really have access to the private blockchains, just like how people will do their internet access or network access. We have local area networks, we have wide area networks, and the others. So when you go if you have a local area network, it's just restricted to a certain area, like a campus area network, where people within that locality can just access it. And so that's just how private blockchains are, mainly for corporate or businesses. Now, you'll be able to have, for instance, maybe Polkadot, the Dot chain, and Cardano doing things together, tapping on each other's blockchain potentials so that they can build products on that. Now, sustainability. When you have a solution, it has to be sustainable. Even in this life, we are all sustaining ourselves. Although we say we have all sustainer, which is the spring god, but there are actions that you have to take to be able to sustain your life. Is that okay? You don't say that when God creates everyone, God knows when and what time you will die. And that when you are on the road, in the middle of the road, and the car is coming, you will move. Because if the car hits you, that has been decreed. Will you move or not? If you say, God has decreed that you will live 100 years and you are just 20 years, you go and stand in the middle of the road and the car hits you, won't you die? Or you decide to take your life, you won't die because it's decreed you live 100. Maybe there are some pastors and imams here who may want to. But that's the thing. You need to what? That is why we human beings have intellect and animals don't have. For us, we need to use our intellect. That's why you see they hit a lot of animals on the road. Because they are just, some of them, even some animals have intellect. Yes, goats, especially goose. Even a drop of rain, they will look for shade or shelter. How much more an individual who has, been blessed with intellect. So you need to take up measures to sustain, and that's why Cardano wants to sustain it by the cross-chain, by governance, by community. All these things that we are doing are measures to sustain the ecosystem, to be able to generate revenue and bring out impactful budgets that can empower the community to be able to what? Do a lot of projects on the ecosystem. Cardano's native currency is ADA. Almost every blockchain, for a blockchain to thrive, you need to have your own native cryptocurrency. If we take the Ghana's economy, we have our Ghana cedis, and that's what we are operating with. That's what we are operating with. Everyone in Ghana, anything you want to actually do, you will need the cedis to be able to buy internet, to be able to buy this, look for telecoms API, and do a lot of things to integrate. So the amount of circulation, we have our central banks and they control the money in circulation. The amount of money that's in circulation is being determined and even known by the central bank, and they can decide to take all the monies in their hands. True of us, they can decide to do that. And these are some of the powers of the central banks. Why the term central? Because it's the censorship, the central authority, and that is the opposite of blockchain. Because blockchains are decentralized. These are decentralized and they are distributed. Imagine the whole of us here belongs to one community. We all have access to this page, to this ledger, and we can all participate in it. Call ourselves node operators. If I want to record a transaction, I record it there. You have this immutable. You can't tamper with it again once it is recorded. It's just like the whole world running on one public ledger. Take Wikipedia for instance, take Google Drive or Google Sheets. If you make Google Sheets public, anyone with a link can view or can edit. It becomes a ledger for everyone. Once you hop on it, you can write text. It's just like even Wikipedia. Let's exemplify this with Wikipedia. Wikipedia, everyone can create articles. It's open knowledge, open source. You go there and create knowledge, but you support your knowledge. Either you are editing articles or you are creating new articles with evidences, so that the moderators can verify and then what? Publish your new edits or your new creations. So that's how blockchains are. You come and put in that your transaction or whatever you are creating, either a contract or an application, and then we all have copies of that distributed, and it's decentralized. So once a chain or a particular block is full up, it's been recorded or been put into the previous or existing chains, and that's how transactions continue to run. So several nodes or computers connected together will be able to have access to this, and with that we can be able to improve our financial services. We can be able to use blockchain to build dApps or decentralized applications that can allow businesses to basically track their goods and services from the manufacturing points to the consumer points or to your store. You can check for fraud. Last month I was at a conference where snack was shared, and after the snack was shared, I was just there and someone walked to me as a MC. I was the MC. He came to me and said, "It looks like the malt they shared is expired." It was expired, 1 month expired, and it was shared by the vendor. In fact, we had procured the snack from that vendor, the event, so the mistake was from them. And they also blamed the woman they took the malt from. So there wasn't any checks for this. There wasn't any checks. So these are some of the porous systems, and we shared it. They had to render apology and replace all the malts that they brought. Because we said they should, render apology, and somebody suggested that no, they should bring new sets, active beverages, so that those who have already consumed the expired ones can dilute the expired one with a new one. So that's how we did. We diluted it. And in fact, although someone said, usually when it's just 1 month expired, it's usually still safe, unless it takes 3 months, right? So that gives some people, the confidence that their lives are not in danger. So We also want to have voting systems. You can create simple voting systems. Most of us here are students, and we see how elections are rigged. Go beyond the universities or the schools, even in our own country. Although Ghana hasn't adopted any e-voting yet, we are still using the traditional ballot casting way. But still, it's rigged. How is it rigged? Through the electronic collation processes, from the polling station to the constituencies, to the constituency level, to the regional, to the national collation centers. Before you know, they will maneuver the figures. Some people will go and they send them on errands to go and do things or serve them tea, and they'll concentrate on tea. Before you know, figures are being massaged, and they'll be complaining on being served tea without biscuits, and this will become a lawsuit. These are all the challenges that are confronting our country, not just the country, even everywhere in the world. And that is why these things are in. Blockchain is here to be able to revolutionize this, so that we can build resilient voting systems. We see awards have been rigged. Recently, Tamale, someone was going for movie awards. After they announced the winner, one of the key contestants for the best actor of the year, in fact, didn't get it. So the one he was competing with got the car as an award. Surprisingly, the other key contender also went and bought a brand new car. And what was his explanation? He went around and raised resources, solicited for funds for voting, and he didn't use this money to buy votes. He went and bought his big part of it, about 100,000 or so, and bought fresh car for himself. And his reason was that when he used it and buy votes, he was cheated. So as the winner got his car, he also has his car. And that's why he did. He has some change left from buying a new car. And he's also in town moving around. Because in the previous year, he contested and felt cheated. He said, no, this year, no, if I take all the mobile monies, I'll gather everything, go to shows and do fundraising for voting, and use the money and buy his car. So that no awarding institution will take the money and just buy one car for individual, and the rest will be for the awarding institution. No. So he was with he didn't trust the system. The system was just flawless. And so national elections, student elections, associations, SRCs, be able to use blockchain and do this, and everyone will have access to it. Nobody can tamper. You can't go and tell the software developer, Web2 developers, oh Charlie, this guy is I'll give you 10K and 20,000. Just rig the election, maneuver the figures and project it, then my candidate will win. SRC e-voting, these things happen. Wars, you will witness it. Those who deserve it will not get it. And that's how the world gets destroyed, with injustice. So if we want to change the world and make the world better, we need to have these just systems that can allow us to be able to have systems that are working, so that it can make our social lives better, our economic life better, and our political lives better. And that's what Cardano really wants to do. Now, these are the three major entities that founded Cardano. The main one is Input Outputs. As a software company building several products, not just Cardano. Cardano, in fact, is just one of its products. There are several things that it does in terms of software engineering. Then it has the Cardano Foundation as the non-profit organization that handles largely the blockchain enterprising or blockchain corporations for the ecosystem, budgeting, participation in governance actions, and several other activities of the Cardano ecosystem. Imego is more profit-oriented, engaging also corporates, developing educational courses and some other educational materials just to educate people and empower them with resources to be able to learn how to make good use of Cardano blockchain. And these are the rules explained. Now, these 5 people you've seen, in fact, the roadmap is over. This ended somewhere last year in December. We played the documentary recently when we were still checking in, and you saw the founder Charles Hoskinson giving some keynotes in Argentina about the convention. So at the foundation level, that was the Byron era. roadmap one, that was when Cardano was, went mainnet, and people could basically transact either tokens among themselves. Then to Shelley era, more of decentralization, because when it's decentralized, you'll be able to allow community people to stake their ADA. So if you hold the tokens of the ADA, you'll be able to stake it with a particular stake pool, or create a stake pool yourself, SPO, and then be able to assist in mining or assist in validating transactions. And that's one thing that unifies Cardano from others, the POS, or proof of stake or robust protocol. Your participation levels brings about reward. And so the amount of participation that you have in the ecosystem, the amount of stake you have in it, determines your reward in the Cardano ecosystem. So if you are here, you can create a stake pool operator. Subsequent session, you learn about how to be a stake pool, how to be a delegated representative, and how you can just take your normal ADA. If you want to buy a whole ADA and participate in Cardano activities, you hold it and you just have to stake it and get some rewards with a particular stake pool or existing stake pool. Smart contracts, Gogen era. Building simple smart contracts, either voting tools, either property race, either certificate chains. India has one like that, where Indian universities can begin to upload graduates certificates online. And once you go to apply for job, the organization can just simply verify your credentials. So no need to borrow CV and go. If you borrow CV, they will catch you. Those who borrow CVs for interviews, or you go and borrow certificates, or you cook certificates. Some people do that. You have just cook certificate or cook visa, they will get you. So people can simply able to verify information and know that this is you. Digital identity, you cannot cheat. Proof of life, once you say this belongs to you, that ends it. West African Examination Council still have issues verifying candidates' results, and students will be admitted into the university, and the university will say, oh, we will verify results. You won't know the outcome early. They will wait until when you get to a third year or final year. Then they go and paste the names of dismissed students with reason that they came in with fake results. All your 3 years fees are being wasted. Imagine if the university is able to check the verify the results as early, like real time. As you're applying, the university has access to the blockchain. And the admission team will basically just grant you admission, review it with the blockchain, and that's it. If you didn't fit for admission, they offer you admission. Now, scaling, I did that early to be able to go beyond just the foundational level, beyond smart contracts, beyond just dApps. Now we have decentralized finance, lending services, borrowing services on the blockchain, in the cryptocurrency space. You can have people building products that can help just for you to do like finances, manage finances, even microfinance. Are you aware you can take a loan in cryptocurrencies? So that those of you who go to quick credit and they chase you around, paste your pictures around and throw stones at your zinc, say you are wanted or quick loan, no. Come to cryptocurrency, you are able to take loan with just some collaterals, and you'll be able to and KY. Having a country or a government that empowers people, like how blockchains empower people. You make decisions. I can confidently say that this project that we are implementing was out of a decision being made by a group of people like you. Because this is a funded project from Catalyst, and Catalyst basically that we will talk about later. That's decentralized innovation fund where proposals have been submitted, and this proposal has to be criticized and reviewed by community, voted on by the community, and decided by the community that these proposals this proposal should be implemented. And every time I go in, I say it, because individuals wants power. If we have chosen democracy as the best governance model for ourselves, we will be able to practicalize democracy. Abraham Lincoln defined democracy as the governance of the people, for the people, and by who? By the people. But why is it that we take decisions without the people? Someone was telling me the recent e-levy, which is now cancelled, which is good news for us, electronic levy. Previously, almost 90% of Ghanaians were not happy with the tax, with the electronic levy. But our voice was not taken into consideration. It was passed. Thank God this new government is saying the budget rate will be scrapped. I don't know when it will also take effect. Sometimes West, but let's hope that those nuisance taxes that they stated that it will scrap, these taxes will be scrapped. Take decisions. Imagine we have 275 parliamentarians, and these people, once they say yes, that ends it. If they agree, let's sell Ghana. Ghana is going to be sold. What can we do? Protest? We've seen several protests of young people which hasn't yielded anything. You go on the street, they arrest you, or they spray you with hot water, then you run for your life. Law students will feel cheated by, after sitting for the law entrance exams, and they don't have a voice. They can't say anything. Student groups and student unions are no longer powerful because we've, politicized everything. But if we use this technology, imagine the way we vote leaders, because anybody 18 plus and of a sound mind with a valid voter ID card will be able to have a hand in selecting the leader or president for the country. So such an individual should also be able to vote on projects, on policies. If we say scrap taxes on sanitary pads, because students, especially those at high school, cannot afford, you should do that. But why put taxes on imported sanitary pads? Why put a lot of taxes on the import duties? You go to clear a vehicle or just a product, and the duty is even more than the cost price of the item. An economy that really wants to grow cannot be running like this. But when we have systems in place, technologies in place like blockchain technology, and of course Cardano blockchain, we'll be able to basically do some of this. And it's the government that has large control over our monies, over our taxes. All of us, and most of us who work here, you all pay taxes. You pay income tax, you pay even indirect taxes. And Ghana Revenue and other revenue generating management organization takes a lot of money to the government. But still, we are not able to imagine even internet. We have now imported internet. Is that not imported internet? Starlink is not imported. Because that's not a local internet service provider. It's not a local ISP. The telcos are not able to. They have to go and rely or outsource for an American internet service provider. So I think I've mentioned this. So I'll just go run through them. Supply chain, identity verification, and data storing. Yes, social media. You can have a social media application that you can build on the Web3 and own it, where people can just chat with each other in real time, safeguard their data, and you'll be able to have control over it. Just like Facebook and others, but that one will be more decentralized. Unlike where your data will be at stake when it's with the Web2 applications. Fluid tokens, one real use case of Cardano DeFi. And Project Catalyst, of course, is the innovation fund for education and other products that can be built on the blockchain. Some few numbers. The recent Cardano development updates, you could see about 9,988 projects are being built on Cardano. And this report is by input output. About 1.3 million delegated wallets. 1.3 million wallets have been delegated, and over 10 million native tokens on Cardano, with over 210,000 token policies. Those of you who are devs, you could see the Bluetooth scripts and Aiken scripts, as well as 1,205 active delegated representatives, over 107 million transactions. Now, if you are confident with the coin market cap, you will realize that Cardano's total circulation supply is around 35 billion out of the 45 billion market cap. It means we just have about 10 billion left for us to reach the maximum supply. And what then will happen? Scarcity. will set in. And so that's how the industry grows. Take the entire cryptocurrency space, for instance, over $2.7 trillion. Over $2.7 trillion. Over 50 years now, right? Started in 9, and they're still running. And so these are just some few things I'll mention about Cardano blockchain and some basics around blockchain technology for your understanding. Mainly what I want to talk about next is to walk us through a little about the Project Catalyst Fund. Now that we know what Cardano is, how Cardano began and brought and to this far, these are some few links you can visit. Correcatalyst.io, Sanko Gov for governance access. Intersex MBO is a membership-based organization on the Cardano ecosystem. For those of you on Telegram, we'll try and search Cardano Ghana official. You join us on Cardano, our Telegram group, and we'll grant you access. If you're on X Cardano Ghana, if you want to send an email, you can use this to send a mail to us. So I'll just use this to walk us through basically about the Project Catalyst.io, because for now that we understand what, I'll need some support here. Okay, let me try to close. Now that we understand what map group details, national IDs cards, and location proofs, address proofs, just to verify that this is the project lead or this is the project team that are going to implement the proposal. And then as far as the proposal onboarding too, you will have to submit statement of milestones, SOM. Every project will have to get milestones, either 2 milestones, 3 milestones, and there's number of months that you use to execute that, because projects are temporal endeavors, so they are specifics. Once we are starting, this project began last month, February. We had our first session in Tamale, and this is our second. Hopefully the next will be in Accra, and that's how projects is. So even your timelines, if you want to change your timelines, you just need to communicate with the catalyst. You can change your timelines or your milestone statements, and your milestone statement should be in line with your original proposal. You don't say you want to do education and then after we are funded by the community, you don't come and say, I want to build an app now, I don't want to do education. That's like a go to your plan. Do we get it? So that's how you should be able to tailor your ideas. So the community is available to support you. There's an ongoing support for new projects. If you are funded, they continue to give you mentorship. In fact, every Tuesday they hold sessions with funded project owners and give you trainings, tools that you want. If you want to build smart contracts, there are experts that are going to train you on that to be able to just successfully execute it. If it is marketing skills you want, if it is communication tools you want, communication skills, if it is report writing skills you want, the community is always available to provide you with that kind of support. And then so you submit, there's a milestone model, you submit your statement of milestones, and there are milestone reviewers too. So when you raise it's these community reviewers that have transcended to milestone reviewers. So as you review more proposals, your level begin to move from level 0 to level 1 to level 2. And when you get to level 2, you can qualify as a milestone reviewer, and you begin to review new projects, milestones, and also verify their evidences. So when they submit milestones, it has to be approved by at least 2 milestone reviewers. So when they do the execution, they submit evidences or they submit the outcomes, evidences to back the outcomes, because the milestone statements are basically in 3 categories.